I am sad to inform our community and our Board of Education and our faculty and students that Shannon Drown has resigned from our Beekmantown Central School District School Board. She has filed to the district clerk effective 9/28/18. Meeting's called to order. Mark, would you please say the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a roll call, please?
Douglas Beebe,
here.
Andrew Brockwayne,
Here.
Kathy Buckley,
Here.
Michael Hagedorn,
Here.
Holden Lehman,
Here.
Ed Marin,
Here.
Mark Sand,
Here.
Colleen Stone, Cameron Kuchar.
Here.
It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion to remove on page 8, under D, UW marks from the agenda and create a separate item.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what part you said.
Part D, the appointment of UW marks.
Could I ask that next time you look something from the agenda that you notify us in advance, just so we can organize the agenda properly?
Under 9D, or 10D.
So, do we have a second? Seeing no second, request fails.
And pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order, you don't need a second, it's not available.
We could also discuss it during.
I made the motion.
Okay.
I would like to remind the board that we do use Robert Rules of Order as a foundation for how we run our meetings, but it is not, how do I want to say? It is not the sole process that we use. Educational law runs a little differently. So unless we have differing legal advice, the resolution stands as is. All right, moving on. It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I'll motion.
May I have a second?
Also,
Ed, if you didn't hear that, Ed seconded.
You know where that feedback is coming from? No?
If somebody's cell phone is near the microphone, it can also be doing that.
Mine's off. And in my bag. Okay. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Noes?
No.
Abstains? Resolution passes. We've set aside 10 minutes for public comment. If anyone from the community would like to come forth and make a comment at this time, please approach the board and state your name. Seeing that we have no one at this time, we would like to move on to presentations. Our first presenters, I am very excited to present, are our future Farmers of America and our Beekmantown High School Agricultural Program. Their presenter is Veronica Kahn, and I said that wrong, Veronica Crone, and her high school students.
Good evening. Thank you for letting us come tonight. My name is Veronica Crone. I'm the high school ag teacher and FFA advisor. And last year we did a lot of things throughout the school year and the community. And this year we're diving right back in. We have a bunch of big events coming up, and these guys have been working really hard. So we thought it would be a great time to come present to the school board, kind of show off what we did last year, talk about what we're doing this year, and let you guys kind of see what the FFA is all about and why it's so great. So, if these guys want to come up and introduce themselves. You guys can speak that way.
I'm Rebecca Riley. I'm a member of the FFA and I'm an 8th grader.
Bryce Berry, Sentinel, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Emily Estes. I'm the president and I'm a senior.
I'm Lindsay Roy. I'm the reporter and I'm a senior. I'm Nicole Jones. I'm the secretary and I'm a junior.
I'm Dakota Vassar. I'm vice president and I'm a senior.
So what is FFA? FFA makes a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for career leadership, personal growth, and career success through ag education. The FFA motto is learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, and living to serve. FFA is successful because of its 3-circle model: classroom instruction, FFA, and SAE.
Oh, maybe it's their cell phones.
Some of our chapter highlights last year were attending student leadership conferences, increasing our chapter's growth and student participation. We used grant money to help support our fundraising needs. Students competed in CDE and LDE contests, and we held our first ever FFA banquet and had 75 guests.
We also sold over $5,000 last year in syrup, welded goods, and plants. 9 students attended FFA summer camp. We were active this summer, county fair, many local events, and the farmer market. These are some photos from events from last year that we participated in, such as farmer markets, summer camps, and FFA conventions.
Some goals for this year we'd like to meet is to get more attendance on sub-states, state levels, and get more people to attend on competitions. We want to grow and support our businesses like maple syrup, plant sales, welding goods, and self more. We want to get more students involved in FFA so we can have many more students achieve goals in path leadership. And we want to have about 15 students get in SAE projects.
So, thanks, Joe. So coming up, we have a pretty large event that is going to really benefit our FFA chapter. Dr. Temple Grandin is coming on Wednesday, October 24th. Last year, Principal Gardner and I were approached by Autism Alliance and of Northeastern New York, and they were bringing Dr. Grandin in for their fall conference over, I think it's being hosted at the Rainbow. And Dr. Grandin only agreed to come if she would be hosted by a local high school, and they had approached us because of our new ag program. This is really the 3rd year of instruction with our ag program, and Dr. Grandin, she's really been on the forefront of ethical animal treatment in slaughterhouses, livestock facilities. She is an individual with autism, and she's achieved her PhD. She's world-renowned, a really world-class speaker on many levels, and not only autism, but in animal husbandry. So it really kind of spoke to us that she is pretty awesome if she won't even accept money from someone that wants her to speak unless she's offered a public event to speak at. So we jumped on the opportunity. The last year we've been planning. We're anticipating about 1,000 people to come on that night, the 24th. It's been kind of a huge effort, not only from our administrators, but our custodial staff. Everyone here has just been jumping in. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Our students will be showcasing some of their items they've been working on, our grow cards, stuff like that. But it's going to be pretty great. So we want you guys, we weren't sure if the whole board we knew that our superintendent and some other people were aware of the event, but we wanted to kind of showcase it to you as well, so that way maybe you can get it out in the community. We've been posting on Facebook, stuff like that, so if you can maybe share it. We're really excited, and we just think it's a great way to showcase not only our program, but Mr. Miller and Mr. Roulihan's programs are going to be showcasing that night with their red and gray cafe and their cheese stones and eagle treats. So really we're going to have people from up to 5 hours away coming in, not only from our local community, but across the state and Canada to come see her talk. So if you don't know who Dr. Grannon is, I'm going to just show this quick little video here. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Lambert.
To do is learn better. And when I see the things that I do make a difference.
I think you went to the end. I'll just replay it. Yeah. Sorry. This is my weakest point.
I gotta go back.
Yeah, I think you gotta go back one video. I'm sorry.
Who's nonverbal, who can't speak, who communicates by using an iPad to touch pictures to communicate.
There you go. Thank you.
What you do is you learn better, is you learn more and more things.
Well, I didn't speak until I was 4. Now I have a BA and a master's, and I'm studying for my doctorate.
Like, I remember the frustration of not being able to talk. I couldn't get my words out. My speech came in gradually, a few words at a time. When I was a little kid, I was very autistic, nonverbal, rocking, that's the kind of kid they just put away in the institution. But I had a speech teacher that worked really hard with me, and I can't emphasize enough the importance of young children getting early intervention. You got a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old with no speech, don't wait. High school, absolutely worst part of my life. Teasing. I got kicked out of school for throwing a book at a girl who teased me because teasing really made my life miserable. And the only places I could get away from teasing was the specialized activities. Things like horseback riding, electronics lab, model rocket club. The line was drawn in the sand. I was not allowed to become a recluse in my room. I had to get out and do things. I'm always kind of baffled at just how logical people are in their thinking. I'm very logical in my thinking. But when I was younger, I didn't know that other people thought more in words. You see, I think in pictures. If I don't have a picture, I don't think. And my mind is very, very associative. Being a visual thinker, I have to tend to put things into categories. You see, autism is a very big spectrum. At one end of the spectrum, you've got half the people at Silicon Valley. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you've got somebody who's very handicapped, remains nonverbal, is going to have to live in a supervised living situation. Really, really big spectrum. And Einstein probably be labeled autistic today in a lot of school systems because he had no speech until age 3. I'm interested in seeing something that makes real change. I've done a lot of work, made a lot of improvements in the livestock industry, and I think I've helped a lot of kids succeed. I want to see the kids that are like me succeed. That's the kind of stuff that makes me happy. When I see the things that I do make a difference.
So as you can see, Dr. Grannon, she is rich in years, so she's in her young 70s now. When she was going through college, it was in the late 60s, early 70s, so a lot of times students with autism were institutionalized, so she really was on the forefront of her time. really with the research and the data that she was able to prove. So it's pretty awesome that we're gonna get to have her here. Students will have priority seating. We'll probably, they're gonna set the gym up just as they do for graduation. So the floor seating is going to be for our students and student guests. We've invited other schools and FFA chapters and 4-H members to be involved. So please make sure you spread the word. It's gonna be a phenomenal night. She'll be doing a book signing, but you know, these guys have been working really hard so that we can, you know, have a forefront of students to put on events like this, and I think it's really going to help put our chapter on the map. Already from around the state, we've been getting, how did you guys get Dr. Grannon to come here? So it's been pretty awesome for us. So we're pretty excited. Are there any questions?
So I don't have a question. Well, maybe I do at the end, but I want to say 3 years ago we started the program. So it was literally 4 years ago when we put it into the budget. And to see the work you guys were doing last year and this year, it's just wonderful. I love seeing you guys on Twitter. I've been out with some, I follow you guys at the farmer's market and places. I missed some of the activities because I had some things going on with my family, but I look forward to seeing the work that you guys do. But I know my kids like your maple syrup, and you guys, I'm just very impressed always by what you're doing. You guys look great tonight. So you great ambassadors for Beekmantown. So the only thing, my only question would be, you guys always have awesome projects you're doing and working on awesome things. Could somebody share their favorite moment from either this year or last year? Go for it.
Me? Well, you can share a couple.
Yeah.
Last year we went to this camp called Oswegatchie. It was honestly, if you get the opportunity to go, you should go because it's a lot of fun. You make a lot of new friends.
And what's the unique thing about Oswegatchie? What makes it so special? What's this?
Oh, and there's no service, so you can't text anyone.
There's no internet or cell service, so there's no
Like,
Facebook, Twitter, texting, so it gives them that real face-to-face time. Yep. Did you want to share?
State convention. I mean, I went on that. I mean, I don't think any of you guys went to state convention.
It was prom last year.
It's really fun. You get to meet a lot of new kids from different places all over. It's very fun.
Who did you get to have a one-on-one conversation with? Ed Commissioner Richard Ball. So Bryce got to talk to him about what we're doing with our program, so it was pretty special. So these guys, I'm not going to lie, they definitely have made me proud, so we're happy to represent Beekmantown.
You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
I had a quick question. I was trying to find it on the computer, but I couldn't find the presentation. There was something about a competition, LDE,
yes.
CD, something or other. What is that?
One of you can explain.
So, LDEs are leadership development competitions, and CDEs are
Career development. So basically, all FFA members are encouraged to participate in an LDE or a CDE. FFA is a little different than most extracurricular activities. It's actually an intracurricular, so you're not supposed to be an FFA unless you're enrolled in an agricultural education class. So for example, Bryce here, he couldn't fit it in his schedule this year, so he's doing an independent study with me, and he's actually developing a maple history trail down our sugar maples by the elementary. And the main goal of his project is to develop this educational trail that by sugaring season, elementary teachers can sign up their class with a time with him, and they can go down the trail. He'll explain them the history from Native Americans to modern day sugaring. Last year with ELT money, we were able to purchase an evaporator, so we'll have that running, a filter press, and some other sugaring equipment. So it really gets kids to, when they don't have an ag class, they want to be in or have an independent study so that they can compete in those events. So for example, a career development event, they have a maple career development event. So Bryce could compete at the state level against other students from New York, and he would enroll in the maple contest, and it's tool ID, it's terminology, they have to know how to use equipment. So everything is based off that career. We have floriculture, so they have to do flower arrangements. Leadership development events are based on skills that they need to be a leader. So public speaking, Last year, we actually had 5 students make it to the sub-state level for public speaking with the leadership development event, People in Ag. One of our seniors last year, Mackenzie Archer, actually came in 3rd place at the sub-state level. She was 1 spot off of going to states, so it was a really big deal. Our small engines class, we have a career development and small engine repair. So it's a team of 4 kids, and they have to troubleshoot what's wrong with the engine and figure it out and take a small test. So FFA really tries to have those kids take that 3-circle model, the instruction they learn in school, apply it to their FFA, and then that last part, SAE, is a supervised ag experience. So I'll use Bryce as an example again. He has a sugaring operation outside of school. He works with a local sugarer, and he has taps some trees, makes his own syrup. So he keeps track of that, and he uses that towards his SAE, and he can apply for scholarships, proficiencies, and different things that allow him to get credit for something that he already loves to do, and gain more industry experience. So it's very cool. The 3-circle model definitely is awesome. I know this year we were, because of Temple Grandin, we were approached by NYSA, the New York State Teachers Union, their publication. They would like to do an article on us. And the woman didn't really know a lot about FFA or Ag Ed, so we responded to her, and she was, really blown away that how this works and how kids really eat it up. I mean, I have kids from all different walks of life in my class. I have some, last year I had some of the top students in the school, and then I have some of the kids that, might have dropped out and wanted to come back and want to take my class 3 different times a day. So it really is a great program, and every kid can find their spot in it. So
I have to tell you, when we were in the midst of organizing our capital project, that one of the biggest concerns I got from our community were, what about the buckets on the maple trees? Our community was thrilled to see them, and I want to thank you for bringing it back to us.
Oh, thank you. We definitely want to be expanding. We're excited that we got to keep half of them, but we knew we could find some more maple trees. We got also a huge response of producers that wanted to donate trees or taps and things like that for us to use to kind of expand. So this year we have a 100-gallon galvanized stainless steel tank to store sap in our evaporator that we're hoping to run a couple times a week during sugaring season. But the kids loved it. I mean, there's nothing better than kids that grow up in a sugaring area and walk out there and they can't believe that there's a pail full of water. And they, so it's pretty awesome. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much.
It's 6:45. Thank you.
Good job, man.
All right, next we're moving on to reports. We have Superintendent of Schools, Daniel Mannix.
Okay, so on the agenda today is the approval for the ELT grant. That's another $3 million plus our way. We wrote that grant 5 years ago. We received it for 2 years, and now we've had 2 additional bonus years given to us. So we're thankful for that, and it helps us in many ways with our budget, programming, what we're able to do for kids. It's terrific. Also, just recently we became a recipient of a Gearing Up grant, which should be in the paper soon. It's a really pretty large grant, $1.6 million a year. Us and I think 4 other school districts, it might be 5 other school districts, and it will help. It's a STEM-based program in trying to track kids so that they understand the pathways to STEM careers. I have a meeting on Friday in Essex County at their headquarters, and it will be quite interesting to see what that's going to look like. On today's agenda is a unique policy that we had to kind of adopt at an emergency level. If you remember a while back, there was maybe 6-8 months ago, it could have been longer, there were a lot of claims in the media about sexual harassment. There was a Me Too movement, and Governor Cuomo in the and our politicians got together and passed a law on October 2nd and said that school districts need to have a sexual harassment prevention policy so that people aren't being sexually harassed so that you're preventing sexual harassment in school districts. But they gave us, I think, 6 or 7 days to adopt the policy. That's just not the way our system works. So what we did is we adopted a model policy. We have a sexual harassment policy, and then we'll take to policy committee, and I point to Mr. Mayor, he's very active on policy committee. We'll merge the two policies together, and we'll be compliant. Right now, this makes us compliant with the state, and then we'll merge the two policies to make sure that we're good moving forward. And before I hand this over, I want to thank Mary Blaine. I hand this over to Mary Blaine. I want to thank Mary Blaine for just short of 10 years service to the school district. Justin Gardner said, he said that he thought it's always important to leave a place better than you found it. And Mary's doing that certainly with Beekmantown, but certainly the business office as well. I think some of you might remember the audit reports. I wasn't here. The audit reports when Mary started, and then she's been very instrumental. She's been the driving force behind implementing policies that make us compliant with governmental accounting, which is great from a business office standpoint. It shouldn't be lost on anybody here that when we really started making bold, innovative moves, Mary was with us on our team. I'll give you an example. When we went, I think Mr. Hagedorn and Board Member Stone were with Mary, myself, and the administrators and teachers when we went down to Florida and began to understand how can we have a digital initiative here at Beekmantown like very few other school districts in the state do, because you needed board support, admin, teacher support, but you certainly needed the business office behind the movement. And she's been just great on helping us understanding what the teachers need, what the administrators need, what the district needs. Another example would have been during the budget process, dedicating money for the ag program. I remember conversations that we had, and Mr. Bell was part of those conversations. And then we sell it to the Board of Education, and then we sell that to the community. What you had tonight wouldn't have happened without that teamwork. So kudos to Mary for a very nice position, an awesome position for Mary. But more importantly, far more importantly, thank you for being here and being here and helping us along the way. Thank you.
On tonight's agenda, we have additional grant awards that I want to bring to your attention. As you know, this year we have the pleasure of having the services of our grant coordinator from BOCES, and upon her recommendation, it will really help the district out significantly in the buildings and managing the grant funds that we receive. Oftentimes we have word, we know that we're going to have a grant awarded to us, for example, Title I or IDEA. They are cycle grants. They renew kind of each year. We learn what our allocations are, but oftentimes it's November or December or January when the actual approval comes through. Meanwhile, we're halfway into the year and students really aren't able to benefit from the programs, or we do a lot of legwork, and with the principals handling and doing something 4 times to be able to get it through. Our grant coordinator suggested as soon as we learn of approval from the program office at SED, let's put forward to the board to accept these grants and move forward. So that's what you see on tonight's agenda, are a lot of these grants we've gotten program office approval on, but not the final grants finance approval. We believe that it's a very calculated, minor risk to move forward without grants finance, with the assurance from the programs office that we're good to go on these. What it means is that it's going to be more efficient for the buildings to execute the goals of these grants and the tasks, but it also puts opportunities out there for all of our students earlier in the school year. So that's an important thing, and I'm pleased that we have this on the agenda already early in August for us to get moving on these. The other item that I want to point out is we've collected the tax cert claims every year at this time. Basically, July and August we collect them. This is probably the highest year we've seen in recent history, just under $760,000 in tax certs. So another part of the agenda, or you're going to hear from the operations committee about the external audit that we had. And I just want to remind everyone that we have excess fund balance. Part of that excess fund balance, as soon as the year ends, we know we need to utilize to cover these tax cert claims. So just keep that in mind as you're reading through the audit report and as you're hearing about the balances that we have. Thank you for the board several years ago for adopting a long-range financial plan. Mr. Mannix encouraged us to take a look out with the tax cap levies, with health insurance that we've seen in the last couple of years. It's important to forecast 5 years into the future. Part of that as well is the tax cert claims, and those come to us within a month and 45 days after we close the year, so there's no way that we can do that reserve in advance, but we know that it's coming. We have a track record. We benefit from having a very progressive economic development activity within the footprint of our geographical school district. With that comes some of these issues that we have to pursue. You also may recall that we've been aggressively pursuing tax cert claims. So we always, as a school district, aim for having a fair and reasonable approach on those, and we have legal counsel that pursues them on behalf of the district. There are times that we partner with the town on that pursuit, and there are times that we go the pursuit ourselves. So I would just remind you to keep that in mind as you think about the results of our audit. And I'm not going to take all of Kathy's thunder away, but I am pleased to report that we've had a great audit. We have an unmodified report that was issued by the external auditor. The only finding was the unassigned fund balance exceeds 4%. We have management discussion and analysis that talks about the risk and why it exceeds that. And in closing, I will point out that we have 2 budget transfers also on tonight's agenda, which is just to cover BOCES reallocations of post-cert costs. We have the grant coordinator through the grant for the full year this year. Last year was only for a partial year. And we also have a teacher in residency teacher that's also part of the BOCES COSER. So I will remind everyone that that also will provide BOCES aid reimbursement in a subsequent year to us.
And that, thank you, Mayor, for that. And that last grant for that teacher, this first year we receive all that money back. So, and there's stipends for teachers. So there's no cost to the district to have that other teacher in the classroom.
And the stipends for the teachers, my understanding is paid direct through BOCES.
Yes.
The teachers have informed us. And in closing, I would just thank the Board of Education for your support over the years for this wonderful opportunity to come back to the school that I grew up in. It's been a pleasure to serve, and it's been very rewarding to be on the financial end of it, partnering with all of these wonderful administrators to bring more opportunities to our students. And Mr. Mannix has taught me well in that whatever comes in front of me, in front of our office, to look at it through the lens of what does it do for students, first and foremost, is how is this going to benefit students, and use that as a measuring tool. And that's something that I will take forward, and that I'm proud of the work that I've been able to do, and the achievements and the contribution that I've been able to make to help maximize or expand opportunities for students. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary. Next would be ex officio student board member Cameron Kuchar.
I'm just going to be a bit rebellious because I don't want to talk too loud today. So over at Cumberland Head Elementary School, student-teacher emotional well-being and mental health continues to be a focus. The semicolon man, a mental health advocate, spoke to staff in efforts to break the stigma surrounding mental health. The National Alliance on Mental Health Illness will have an informational booth set up during the evening of parent-teacher conferences. NAMI is an organization that provides support for families those struggling with mental health issues. The Semicolon Man and NAMI, both brought to the school by CHES Emotional Wellness Team, a committee of teachers devoted to teacher and student mental health. Over at Cumberland Head, they also had their first Eagle Pride Assembly that focused on the 4 Bs in all areas of the school. The youngest of the Eagles were introduced to Chester the Eagle, And October's Eagle Pride Assembly will be focusing on the Halloween safety. Second grade was able to go to the Wild Center in Tupper Lake. First grade have all visited Banker's Orchard, and kindergarten will go to Applejack towards the end of the month. Students have all been immersed with an interactive math, ELA, and science lesson centered on the apple theme. The Cumberland Head Fire Department will be on hand Wednesday to teach kids about fire safety, and there will be an annual Halloween parade for grades pre-K through second grade, or for grades pre-K through second grade? Okay. Why did they stop so early? Fifth graders can't enjoy it. So school year is off to a great start at Beekmantown Elementary School. They have had a new student ice cream social to help welcome students to our building. The mentor program has started for the year, and there are 28 students being mentored by the great staff of the school. Open house and movie night were a success. And today was celebration of the Fire Prevention Day. I don't know if any of you saw the fire trucks outside, but there was quite a few. And they helped teach students about fire safety. Field trips have started, and second graders went to Vermont Teddy Bear Factory on Friday, and the fourth graders are going to Fort Ty on the 18th. Many exciting events are happening at the middle school. Team Ascent trip to Rattlesnake Mountain. They have guest speakers Sue Coonrad and Antonio Perez. They give presentations on proper hiking techniques and climbing. The Team Summit and Vertex rocket launch is in preparation for the big bobble rocket launch. Mrs. Diana Danville, Team Summit science teacher, was recognized as New York State Master Teacher. Homecoming week is in the middle school and the high school. In the middle school, the usual theme days are Twin Day, which was today, Blast from the Past, Class Shirt, and Spirit Day. Class shirts donated by the PTO and Student Council. Sixth grade fundraisers were a success. $2,300 plus $200 in donations. PBL article in the Press Republican was on September 30th and about North Country Manufacturing, in the North Country Manufacturing section. A new big thing happening in the middle school is there's no screen time during lunch, so people are face to face, and it really helps promote communication and less FaceTime with the screens. Parent Advisory Committee has their first meeting on October 22nd. 4 parents are participating. Daily announcements are on the website, and Building Leadership Team is meeting on October 19th. Over at the high school, the school year has had a tremendous start. The 5-week progress reports are gonna go home this week. Our students and teachers have been working extremely hard and are growing daily. Counselors, teachers, and administrations have been tracking students, the progress of them, and overall looking to help everyone graduate successfully for all the seniors. The positive culture can be seen all over campus every day. Our school-wide incentives have been seen, so many students are being recognized for the great things that they do on a daily basis. The teacher of the month this last month for September was Mr. Toller. He obviously received so many recommendations, everyone loves him. And Mrs. Gadaway was also recognized today at the faculty meeting and awarded the monthly game ball for her dedication to her students through teaching and being the NHS and class advisors. We had over 50 11th and 12th grader students attend the manufacturing day this past week. They were exposed to a plethora of local careers, helping with their future career decisions. And this week, like stated before, is our homecoming week, and today was Twin Day, tomorrow is Taurus Day, Thursday we have Toga Day for the seniors, everyone else is doing a whiteout day just to show our unity throughout the whole school, and Friday will be our pep rally, so everyone's going to wear red and gray. We have our dance schedule for Saturday evening, and then another positive week, hopefully this week is another positive week. Then like you heard from the FFA group, Dr. Temple Grandin will be coming to campus on the evening of October 24th. Another thing to mention, when she's going to be at the Rainbow Hall, we have the Peer Network group, which is now in the high school and the middle school. They help deal with struggling students in the school, and they're planning on helping the Autism Alliance run the event at the Rainbow Hall. So every morning, I'm on the PA system, bringing life to the morning announcements and the pledge. I try to begin every day with a different slogan to promote enthusiasm with the student body, and it seems to be working. All the teachers seem to love it. And tonight, we had our last home meet for XC students. It's our senior meet, and it went great. We had a lot of fun. It was really tiring. Thank you all. Everything's been so productive in the school districts.
Thank you.
All right, next we have committee reports. Operations Committee, Michael Hagedorn.
We met September 19th, and we were to discuss the selection of a new construction management firm. Construction Associates, who handled our parking lot, was going to finish that project, and we were looking to start with a new firm. So we had received, we had Tetra Tech helped us look into or requested 6 different firms to offer their services, and 2 came back to present to us. And the first one was UW Marks, and the second one was Schoolhouse Construction. Both presented very well to us. And I don't want to reiterate everything in my report that you guys have had access to, but after hearing their presentations, really it boiled down to we felt like UW Marks had more to offer us, better experience, and they also not only did construction management, but general contracting. So we thought their experience brought more to the table than the other company. And so when we concluded, Mr. Mannix reached out to them to award them the job, and already Tetra Tech has been in touch with them. Because the next phase is all the aspects of the capital project that came over bid. So there's a lot there, and we certainly need to get them to look at those plans and start helping us narrow the scope of actually what we're going to do, and then receive bids come this winter, early this year rather than late, which was caused in part because New York State School Education Department came back to us so late. So some of going to bid so late last year was one of the major factors that caused these bids to come over bid. So we hope to get that together this winter and receive bids this late winter and finish the capital project with UW Marks. Oh, one other thing. As of Friday, one of the other parts of the capital project that construction management was starting for us was some improvements at the bus garage. And so I just bumped into Mr. Noonan the other day, who said we're now using our tanks that we had put in for our buses. So it's nice for us to have the control and efficiency of filling our buses with fuel from our own tanks, rather than having them go to the community and fill the buses. So we have more control of price, and it's more efficient. They're not driving around getting fuel from other gas stations. So we have as well as more control. So that just Friday was something that we started today.
Mr. Brackway has a question.
Did you say the contract was already signed?
Yeah, right?
No, the contract isn't already signed. They were notified that they were the successful presenter, and the contract is in the hands. They sent us a contract yesterday, and I forwarded it on.
Was it Sunday night?
Sunday night. And I forwarded it on to Megan Zadek, who will have it back to us by next week.
Do you know if they're going to be bidding GC work as well, or are they just overseeing projects?
I don't think they can. I don't think they can bid the GC work because they're the construction manager.
Thanks.
Schoolhouse Construction, we're just a construction management company, but we felt like that UW Marks actually would bring more to the table by having experience of being general contractors as well. So they have experience doing both. And in fact, they presented to us that with all their different school projects they do about half of each. So for us, it would be just construction management.
Any more questions for Mr. Hagedorn? Right, excellent. The next committee was Audit Committee. We met on September 27th. We met with Michael Bulris from Bulris and Wood CPAs to discuss our June 30th, 2018 draft audit report. We are very happy to hear that he has an unmodified opinion, which basically means he has no significant findings for our audit report, and I think it's 2 years in a row?
More than that.
Is it,
Yeah.
is it more than that?
It's always clean.
4 or 5 years.
Is it really? Oh my gosh.
Except for
All right, excellent. One thing he did want to bring to our attention is that there's significant changes in liability due to GASB 75 OPEB reporting requirements, and he did discuss those with us. Also, we reviewed our June and July 2018 financial reports as submitted by our district treasurer. Treasurer Stahl gave us a brief review of our financial reports and gave an update on our food service program. We did have a 3% decrease in the percentage of meals and snacks served over the 2017-2018 school year. But we believe it is due to the late start of our snack program, and that was through New York State's approval process. So we look forward to not that we look forward to Mary not being there, but to meeting her successor and spending more time with Ms. Stahl. She did an outstanding job, and we were really excited about our progress. We should meet again on October 22nd. That is our audit committee minutes. All right, it's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to approve the following minutes. May I have a motion, please? Motion?
I'll move.
Please? Motion. Second? I think Holden is up first. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, resolution passes. It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to approve the CSE, CPSE, and 504 recommendations for October 9th, 2018. May I have a motion, please?
Motion. I'll second.
You got that, Mark? And then, okay. So Mike second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstains? Resolution passes. It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education that the following personnel resolutions on this consent agenda, resignations, appointments, and retirements be and are hereby approved. May I have a motion, please?
I'll motion.
Second?
Second.
Any question or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, resolution passes. It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to adopt the policy prohibiting harassment in the workplace and the harassment and discrimination reporting form as presented. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, did you get that? Okay, Mark, she can't hear me.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Again, that's one you're gonna see back on another agenda with the conversion.
Yeah. And Ed will be contacting policy to set up?
We already.
Oh, you've already, perfect. Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, resolution passes. It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education that the following miscellaneous resolutions on this consent agenda: curriculum fellow services agreement, memorandum of agreement with Beekmantown Administrators Association, and construction management firm UM Marks be and are hereby approved. May I have a motion, please?
A motion.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
I just had a question about UW Marks. Does that have to be under financial since they're potentially paying them over $5,000?
It's a good question. I don't know that it has to be there. We can look into it. Mary doesn't seem to think so. It's something I don't know off the top of my head.
I would offer that it does not. An agenda is actually not even required for a board meeting, so you can probably put this anywhere you want.
All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, resolution passes. It's resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education that the following resolution on this consent agenda: financial reports, transfers, audit reports, grants, and tax certs be and are hereby approved. This is a roll call vote. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Douglas Beatty?
Yes.
Andrew Brockway?
Yes.
Kathy Buckley?
Yes.
Michael Hagedorn?
Yes.
Holden Lehman?
Yes.
Ed Marin?
Yes.
Mark Sand?
Yes.
Colleen Strong.
All right, the next we have additional items to discuss. We have a board retreat that is scheduled for October 16th at 5:30 at Butcher Block. What I need to do is remind you to fill out your surveys. They have 6 out of 8 so far, so 2 people still have to go online. It is the email, if you haven't seen it, the email was originally sent out by Ed. So look for that. It's a pretty quick survey. There's a standard form of questions, and there's also room for commentary. So please go through and fill it out, and that way we can customize our retreat to actually fit our board needs. I should.
Can we reach out to school board? Can Joanne reach out to school boards, because they probably know who has submitted, and then contact the 2 people? I think you said there's 2 that haven't.
Yeah.
Contact them, just send them that link again. Just-
We could, well, actually, we have the link.
Oh, you have the
Yeah,
link?
yeah,
Yes.
we sent it out.
I was trying to buy a car and phone, so Ed sent. I've had a rough week.
It took me 5 minutes. It was a 5-minute.
5-minute survey.
Yes. It's pretty straightforward.
Just
It's
wondering.
pretty simple.
Do you know, I don't need to know, I'm not trying to find out who didn't do it, but do you know who didn't?
No.
Okay. So if we reach out to, I forgot the lady's
I can just resend the link again.
Okay.
Because it's done through SurveyMonkey and we're not.
Resend the link, and if you're not sure whether you did it or not, we'll try to find out.
All right, excellent. The next is New York State School, or CEWW School Boards Association meeting, which is November 15th. There was some question in the past about whether it was a dinner or appetizers. Sadly, it is appetizers. It has a phenomenal topic. It's something we're very interested in at this point. Supporting students with mental health by partnering with community agencies. If you can attend, please contact Joanne.
You want
I don't have a time listed. Usually it's 6 o'clock.
It's usually
Fine.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, the program starts at 6:30.
Usually like that.
like a little mixing,
Mixer.
hors d'oeuvres, mixer kind of thing.
I am gonna back up a little bit. On our board retreat, we actually need to find out who is going to be in attendance. NISBA is asking us to, have you give us a yes or no tonight. So before you leave tonight, if you could check in with Joanne, we would greatly appreciate it.
Can I just give kudos? So one of the groups that we, Beekmantown, I think, does a great job with is we support our students with mental health issues and their families with our partnership with Behavioral Health Services North. And they were here today, and Mr. Lambert was working with them to set up the first telemed, I guess, telemed spot in the school district. So I'm glad that they continue to look at Beekmantown as an entity that's not afraid to be innovative, and I think that's another avenue that we can really help our students is those kids that have trouble filling their meds will now be able to do that essentially right here at school. So I'm excited.
All right. Oh, and also at the board retreat, dinner is provided, and you can order off the menu. So it's not, it's basically just how it was last year. All right. The next we need to discuss Shannon's seat, filling the board vacancies, and we will get some advice from Mr. Gearhart on how to proceed.
So the board has the option when there's a vacancy midterm to appoint someone or to hold an election. And most, if not every district I've ever had that has had a vacancy typically does an appointment. An election is certainly possible, you can do it. It's expensive, you have to hold a formal election, you have the candidates and so on. So I think most districts will opt for the appointment, and in the case of an appointment, you would appoint someone to fill the remainder of the term until the next election, until in this case, I think it's May 21st of 2019. So if you were to have an election, the person would serve until the end of the term that they're fulfilling. So typically what I understand as board policy is that this is posted, send notices out to local press that there's, again, in the context of not holding an election, but an appointment, you would send a notice, anybody's interested, post it in the paper, place ads on the district website, Facebook, etc., email parents and guardians, so you get people to come in. And typically what the board has done in this district where there's vacancies is ask people to express their interest, submit sort of an answer to the question of why are you interested in working, serving on the Board of Education, present those to the board clerk within a given period of time, and then make an appointment. Legally, you would need to make a decision as to what you're doing within 90 days of the vacancy. If that decision is not made, then the BOCES district superintendent is empowered by law to appoint someone to the position. In all candor, I have never seen a BOCES district superintendent put in a position to do that, and boards typically will appoint or hold an election. So this document shares with you the general parameters about how we would go about listing the vacancy, indicate the qualifications of office, which are all the same as what they were for all of you when you ran for board, and proceed accordingly. This proposes a selection based on those who express an interest, and with the intention of appointing someone by November 13th, which would be well within that 90 days, but will also give due time for people who are interested to fill out and respond and so on. So.
It says may not simultaneously hold another incompatible public office.
There are specific offices in the public officers law that are deemed by law incompatible with the office of a member of the Board of Education. Don't ask me to list those right off the top of my head. There's a bunch of them.
How about one?
You know.
Congressman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think dog catcher actually might be one. There are certain elected offices that are deemed incompatible. Like you can't be the tax collector, or if you're a board member. So, but there's others, and I just don't off the top of my head. Sorry.
That's all. Just a good idea.
And that has come up from time to time. We have people that have served, for example, on town boards that also want to serve on a board of education. Those are not incompatible offices. I only know that because I have a couple board members or town board members, and we had to look into that. There are situations where those two offices would be potentially incompatible, and that person would have to recuse themselves from votes on matters that pertain to the town. But those come up, rarely. So I think tonight it would be prudent for maybe discussion on this and to move the process forward to probably consider you want to appoint, you want to vote, and at least kind of nail that down. That way you can move things forward a little bit, quickly and effectively.
We appointed last time, and we were lucky enough to get Mark, and I think the process itself worked well. I don't know if anyone has any objections.
Yeah, I'll share with you. If you were to hold a vote, chances are getting a lot of people out to vote for a singular seat on the board is like really low. So if you want you want democracy to rear its ugly head, so to speak, in the most effective way, you probably want it to do so at the May vote. You probably get more people because more, the budget's being voted on, maybe other seats are up. You just get more of the populace speaking their voice as to who they want on the board. So.
I have a question. Shannon's term, if we appointed somebody, they would fill Shannon's term. No, just till the next election. Gotcha.
Were you to hold an election, the election would be to fulfill the term.
Gotcha.
All right, so if we appoint the lowest vote getter of next year would fulfill Shannon's term, correct?
So the law does not dictate how you select someone. That's a perfectly valid way to choose someone to serve on the board. If there were, you had 4 seats open, you had 5 people, you had 8 people running, the 4 got elected, and then you looked at the next highest vote getter. Perfectly valid reason rationale for appointing that person. You don't have to. The law doesn't indicate that. The law basically, and the commissioner's decisions on this basically say, as long as there's a rational methodology used by the board that is fair to appoint someone to the board is within its power to do so.
Okay.
So however you do that.
Okay.
So I guess the short answer to your question is yes, you could do that, but the longer answer is you don't have to.
Okay. All right. So are we in agreement that we will do an appointment process? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So we will proceed with appointment.
We will have put the ad, same ad. We've done it twice now. We've had great results. I believe we've had great results, and we're ready to move forward with that as prescribed by policy.
Okay, excellent. The CVES capital project?
Yeah, the 13th, they're coming here, right? Yeah, they're coming here to our board meeting to tell us about the CAP project. So, Mr. Navy, Mr. Bell, maybe Terry Gray, tell us about $30 million.
All right. So if you have any questions or concerns concerning the CVES capital project, come prepared.
So I think I'll receive information on Thursday, and I'll try to jump in the board portal to give you good, solid information on it.
Okay, excellent. The next thing.
Yeah, so mentoring is really important, and we sometimes we're fortunate to be able to handle mentoring in-house, and thought this year we would do something a little bit different and go out of house. And it's something that's statutorily required, that we do have a, nope, it's not that statutorily required to have a mentoring program. Currently our teachers have a mentoring program where teachers mentor the other teachers, and this is the program that putting before you. We have Steve Broadwell, has 28 years of administrative experience in all aspects of school districts. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and he's always a gentleman and always thoughtful in his approach, and I think he could provide all the guidance anybody may want to seek, and I think he'd be great for myself, Mr. Lambert, who's been here a long time, and somebody who's brand new. And here are 11 items which he's going to, which he will engage in with our administrators. Some will be assigned to Mr. Broadwell because they have to have a mentor by law, and it's part of their certification. They have to have a mentor experience, so we'll give them that. And the other ones can decide to use him as they see fit. But it's not like they can use him as they see fit. And then you have the hourly compensation, which is just a little bit more than what we pay our home instruction for students, and that is grant. That will be grant funded, so it's not board action required.
Does anyone have any questions? Seeing no questions at this time. Next, we have public comment. We have set aside 10 minutes for public comment. If you would like to make a comment, please come forward to the board and announce your name. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Moving on. We will not be having an executive session this evening, but we are going to have a gathering of legal advice after the meeting. I'm asking that everyone stays. I would like everyone to attend, but there is no reason or any decisions that will be made at the end of this gathering of legal advice. So
is the meeting officially closed?
I am going to do that right
Okay,
now.
I didn't just go the process.
I would object to that. I don't see how that isn't executive session related, especially if there's going to be a quorum of the board present. I don't understand how that would be legal.
Sure. So under section 108 of the Public Officers Law, 108 subdivision 3 specifically authorizes the board to meet for purposes that are approved and on any confidential matter by state or federal law. So in this case, the board would be meeting to receive the advice of counsel, which would be covered by the attorney-client privilege under the civil practice law and rules of New York State. So that's a valid meeting the board can have with counsel to receive legal advice. It is not a public meeting, nor is it executive session. If you want to term it something, I guess you could call it the exempt session, because it is specifically exempted from the public officers, from the executive session and public session.
Could you email that advice to the board?
No, I don't think there's any reason to do that. I think that 108.3 is very clear. There's FOIL opinions from Bob Freeman on that. This is fairly well time tested. I can send you an opinion from the Committee on Open Government if you would like to read that, but I'm not sure it would be, unless the board wants me to expend the time to email that, formulate that legal advice in the form of a memo to you, I'm happy to do that. But I think if you'd like me to just send you perhaps a FOIL opinion on that, that might be a little bit more prudent use of your time, but I defer to the board as to what it wants.
I'll state that I asked for executive session, and since I had informed the president last meeting that I had provided a packet to her, and that since we didn't act within 30 days, I'll notify the board that there's an investigation of the
Andy,
superintendent.
Andy, we're
by-
not going to
by the
talk
state
about
education
this
department,
in public
which
session.
I'm meeting with after this meeting.
You are not to talk about this in public session.
But if you can
You are
provide me
not
with
to
law
talk about this in
If-
public
if-
session.
If we could, perhaps we could have a meeting with council to explain exactly what you're asking about in private, where this should be. I would suggest that would be a more prudent course of action than to have this discussion further at this point.
All right. It is resolved that the Board of Education, that the meeting be adjourned. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Somebody pick.
Second.
Okay, Ed first. Mark second. Discussion, questions?
I'm not participating in the meeting, so I don't think it's legal.
Just so you know, it is legal, and we would love it if you were there. We don't want you to leave.
Well, I'm meeting because I have to meet with the investigators after this meeting.
Andy, again, if you want just the reference, again, it's Public Officers Law 108, Subdivision 3, which indicates that the board can meet confidentially for purposes that are authorized under state and federal law. As I said a minute ago, as you know, as an attorney, the attorney-client privilege is something that is established under state law. I will be giving the board, as the corporate entity overseeing the school district, legal advice on the matter you mentioned. So as a member of that public body, I would suggest it's certainly prudent and appropriate for you to attend that, to receive that legal advice. If you choose not to, no one can force you to, but that's nature. It's not improper, it happens all the time.
I choose to meet with the investigators.
On your way out, would you be kind enough to tell Joanne whether you're attending the retreat or not? Okay, thank you. It's resolved that the Board of Education, oh, sorry.
Could I just,
Motion.
at risk of, on whose behalf are you meeting with the State Education Department investigators?
I've been participating with them for 3 weeks now, and they're conducting interviews, and they've been staying overnight in Plattsburgh.
Could you give us the names of the investigators you're speaking?
No, I will not.
And are you meeting as a member of the Board of Education or yourself?
As a member of the Board of Education, because I brought information to the board and they refused to act on it, so I gave it to the State Board of Education, who is conducting an investigation into changed Regent scores and the moral character of Superintendent Munoz.
But Andy, we are acting on it. That's why we are seeking legal counsel.
State Education Department is over you.
I think we should end public session if I may be so bold.
Okay. All right. All in favor? Meeting's adjourned.